Hi everybody, I'm Bonnie from Gild & Co. and I am in the store today and I'm going to talk about some of our furniture. Gild & Co. design and manufactures upholstered furniture, including the chair that I'm sitting on. This is our Cotswolds Chair. And you may be questioning sort of, well, chair is a chair, what goes into the design of a chair? Well, there's definitely tons and tons of details that I have obsessively, compulsively thought about, and it definitely goes way deeper than the outer upholstery fabric. So Gild & Co. we're going into our 10th year, and some of you may know that we do offer upholstery services, and that's something that we have always done out of necessity to help through the ebbs and the flows of retail ups and downs, as well as it's something that it does bring me passion to reupholster something, to give new life to old pieces. So I wanted to build a line of furniture that was the same quality and style as many of the antique pieces that I've reupholstered over the years. And actually, even before I opened the store, I used to do upholstery. It was a hobby of mine. I tried to learn it. It is very difficult. I have done a few chairs, but it's definitely something now that I leave to my workroom of professionals. But it has given me tons of knowledge of what goes into building a piece of furniture and how it's constructed, and why the discrepancies in price and quality. So the chair that I'm sitting on, there are a few things that have gone into it. Definitely, one is proportion. So I wanted something that it was comfortable to sit in. A lot of people will read and watch TV and have a favorite chair. Some people are sofa people, some people are chair people. I wanted to build this for a chair person. So a couple things is the lean. So that is how far back you're leaning in the chair. So if you're leaning too far back, you're always kind of like this, and you may not be comfortable if you're a chair person. But you don't want to be totally upright either. And obviously people are going to be wildly different in their preferences based on their size, how long their legs are, how long their torso is. There's tons and tons of variables. So not every chair is going to be perfect for everyone, but I wanted something so if you're sitting in this chair, I have very long legs and a short torso. So I'm comfortable because I have a deep enough seat here. If you were sort of, under 5'4", you probably would want a little footstool. If you were taller than me, you'd maybe take out this lumbar cushion. Or if you had better posture than me, you might take out that lumbar cushion. I like a little lumbar if I was gonna sit in this chair for long periods of time. And one thing to keep in mind when you're doing a footstool is you want it to not have your legs go higher than the chair. So a footstool like this one is perfect because it's just slightly lower. Anyways, back to the chair itself. So there's the proportions, the lean, the seat depth, the width. You don't want it to be so big that it doesn't fit through the doors of an apartment. I wanted a chair that would be sort of regular proportions. There's a lot of overscaled furniture and it looks super comfy and you want to drop into it, but maybe it's not necessarily going to be super easy to move around. And I really find that, if you have a loose back, yeah, it is definitely comfortable to sort of flop into, but this chair has a tight back and a tight seat, and why that's great is that it always looks clean. So it has a great look to it. You don't have to fluff any cushions except for your little lumbar if you have one of these, and that is super easy to do. So this has a tight seat and a tight back. It has just a simple narrow arm with a classic pleating, English roll arm style. Again, timeless style, not a super wide arm. That's another thing that can date a piece of furniture is the arm width. So, you know, you can think circa 2004, there was these modern pieces of furniture and they had these really huge arms. So it's gonna really date a piece of furniture. I want something that's gonna be great for the next 100 years. Maybe it's been upholstered a few times, but I want something that is going to last. And there's always little details you can do as fashions of upholstery change. And when I do reupholster things for my customers and building things for the store, I'm talking about those details all the time: facing, piping. There's a long list of sort of finishing details that can change the stylistic look of a chair. So the frame is solid wood. It's heavy, it's, you know, it's kiln dried, it's built to last. And then the big thing with this piece of furniture is what's underneath this seat. So many chairs will have like a seat cushion that is removable and it's foam inside. Foam is a petroleum-based product. It will also deteriorate over time, and the foam now seems to deteriorate quicker than it maybe did even 40 years ago. Manufacturers change. You know, I'm not a big lover of foam. There is some foam in this chair, but the structure of this chair less depends on the foam than most modern furniture does, but it more depends on the structure of the wood frame as well as the coil spring seat. So a coil spring seat is how they reupholstered furniture 150 years ago, 200 years ago, when upholstered furniture first started to exist. So there are these coil springs and they have them sort of lined up 4x4 for a chair like this, and they're all tied together. So that's 8-way hand-tied coil spring seat. So what that means is that you have the seat is composed of all these springs that are tied together. And when we reupholster furniture, those springs are awesome. I don't think I've ever had to change a spring. Sometimes the ties, which is tied with like sort of a jute twine, and it's tied together at 8 different points. Sometimes you can kind of picture it where, let's say if a kid was jumping on a chair and one of the coil springs was broke off from its web of the others. You know, that can break, but like I said, it has to be like a human being jumping on it. It's very, very rare that that breaks. And we're talking easy 50 years of use. So that's what's inside of this. So it's a few reasons that is not done commonly anymore. Well, it's expensive to do. And then there's a new type of spring called a sinuous spring, and you can kind of picture a sinuous spring just kind of as this squiggly spring. And those were invented 30, 40, 50 years ago kind of thing. And they're great, they're really strong, but they don't give the support to the chair. You still need foam on top of that. Like I said, the structure of this chair depends on the frame and the springs. So it's a lot more expensive because it's a lot more skilled labor to do a coil spring seat, but it's gonna last. And you can see it has this lovely bounce to it. So this is a wonderful, wonderfully built chair. I'm super proud of it. We have made quite a few of them. This one, and then comes the fun part, which is always customizable with our furniture, is what goes on the outside. And this is a linen, 100% heavy linen ticking fabric. It's beautifully strong, it's soft, it's gorgeous to live with. Certainly this is lighter in color, so it would be definitely trickier if you had pets or kids or someone who, you know, was kind of like to have their snacks or chocolate or their wine. But anyways, there's always tons of different options. One thing I'm not a big, sometimes we use polyesters and synthetic fabrics for their durability, but when we can, you can do a natural is just so lovely to live with. It's definitely superior. Not all linens are created equal. This is a gorgeous, high quality from the UK linen. So that's definitely a whole other deep dive into the furniture. And we can also customize the legs. So we can do different legs. We can do straight legs. We can do tapered. There's always different flourishes that are lots of fun to customize a piece of furniture for your home. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me or email me, bonnie@gildandco.com, or come by and chat with us. We love talking furniture